रामं सच्चिदानन्दं वन्दे 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 रामं सच्चिदानन्दम् श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। नंदलाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। नंदलाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। जय नंदलाला जय गोपाला जय नंदलाला जय जय। जय नंदलाला जय गोपाला जय नंदलाला जय जय। वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे माधव मदन मुरारी माधव मदन मुरारी। वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे माधव मदन मुरारी माधव मदन मुरारी। मधुर मुरलिया जब भी बजावे हर ले सुध बुध सारे। मधुर मुरलिया जब भी बजावे हर ले सुध बुध सारे। ओ हर ले सुध बुध सारे। श्री राधे गोविंदा मन बजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। श्री राधे गोविंदा मन बजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। नंदलाला हरि का प्यारा नाम।
Welcome to Satsang. Let's begin with just a few minutes of meditating together. So first, just make sure that your phones are on silent. Unfortunately, the mind does not have an on-off switch, but luckily at least our phones do. Merge with the breath. There will be sounds from outside. We'll ask them to be as minimized as possible, but there'll always be sounds from outside. There'll always be sensations. There'll always be thoughts. Don't try to beat them away or push them away or fight them away. Just allow the awareness to keep drawing back to the breath. Don't allow it to get distracted or hijacked by the sounds, by the sensations, by the thoughts. And as you draw the awareness to the breath, allow yourself to truly arrive right here, right now. Allow your body to stop moving. Allow yourself to just, for a moment, arrive. And as you pull the awareness in, notice, without any judgment, without any analysis, without any attempts to change anything, simply notice what it feels like right here, right now, in this breath, to be you. Don't judge, don't analyze. Just allow the space of awareness to expand. On each exhalation, as you exhale, allow yourself to let go. Let go of another aspect that is not true self. So let go of the masks that you wear. Let go of the roles that you play. Let go of the identities that you identify as. Let go of the personalities. Let go of the histories. And with each exhalation, allow yourself to just sink deeper and deeper, freer and freer of the not self, into the core of the being. As you exhale, just let it all go. And sink deeply. into the core of the true self. Sinking deeper and deeper with each exhalation. Just allow yourself to let go of that you have thought is self, but isn't. Just let it go and allow yourself to get freer and freer, and deeper on each exhalation. Gently bring the palms of your hands together at chest level and rub them gently against each other. Place your cupped palms over your closed eyes. Slowly open your eyes into the palms of your hands and lower your hands. Welcome again to Satsang. We'll begin as always with a question that's come in advance and then open it up to any questions that anyone here may have. I have an autoimmune disorder that has rendered half of my body weak and unable to function properly. How do I remain happy and confident? You know, interestingly and very sadly, when you are stricken with something that is as dire as this, where half of the body is not able to function properly. Maybe you can all just move a little bit this way. Okay, or forward some way just to make some room by the door. Yeah, okay. As you are stricken with a serious accident, a serious ailment, we think, and understandably so, as the question says, how can I be happy and confident if half my body doesn't function? We'll come to that specific question in a moment, but what's really sad is that questions like that would imply that the rest of us, whose bodies are functioning fine, should actually be happy and confident. And what I am sure of is that if we went around the room to everyone whose body is functioning in all 4 limbs, to everyone who is, shall we say, within 10 pounds one way or the other of their ideal weight, to everyone who has enough financial resources to know where their next meal is coming from, to have a roof over their heads, to have clothes in the winter time. You'd think that all of those people should be happy and confident, because when I don't have that, when I don't have enough money to eat, when physically, whether it's my weight, whether it's a medical ailment, whatever it may be, but something that is so severe to render me unable to live healthily in my own body, well, then it's understandable that we think that we are not able to stay happy and confident. But the tragedy is that pretty much regardless of the state of our body, we'll just take another moment. If everyone could just make sure that your mobiles are either off or on silent, that would be wonderful. Thank you. So, regardless of whether I'm the most beautiful person in the room or not the most beautiful person in the room, regardless of whether I'm the richest person in the room, not the richest person in the room, regardless of the entire spectrum, what we find is almost no one is actually happy and confident. And we see this all the time with people who come from every walk of life, from the absolute most successful, most beautiful, most have-it-all world, to everyone along the whole spectrum. And amazingly, those who have it all come in with exactly the same questions that those who don't, which is, how can I be happy? How can I find peace? Actually, I did a scientific study. I've been in India now 23 years, but when I had been in India only a year or two, I did a scientific study. I have a background in science. I love science. And I was so touched by Indian culture, so touched by this magic, this secret of this culture. And when I was back in America visiting, this study I did was I found about 10 people I knew, all of whom were at the absolute highest of their world. So someone in business who was a CEO billionaire of a Fortune 500 company, someone who was a famous Hollywood actress, someone who was a singer whose songs were in the top 10 on the radio, someone who was in sports, who was actually playing for the Los Angeles Lakers basketball team, someone who was a tenured professor at Stanford, people in all these different areas. And they were all people I knew well, so I was able to have very casual conversations with them, either on the phone or in person. They didn't know that I was doing a study. And I asked every one of them, are you happy? And what I got from these people who had attained the absolute highest, what the whole world is running to get to, is either, I would be happy if, fill in the blank, they all had different blanks, but it was things like, I would be happy if my husband only worked a little bit less and had more time at home. My kids would study more so that they would do well in school. My neighbors would, not play music so loudly at night. I could squeeze back into the dress that I wore before the holidays. Whatever it was. Every one of them had, I would be happy if. Just one thing. अगर ये होता तो फिर मैं खुश हो जाती. If just this one thing were there, then I would be happy. Or I will be happy when I get the raise that I wanted, I get the new job that I wanted, this movie I've been working on gets made, the kids finally grow up and move out of the house. Again, different blanks, but one thing between them and happiness. Now, if you're in business, chances are your highest, ultimate, cannot even think about it goal is to be a billionaire, CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Chances are, if you are in Bollywood or Hollywood or the local street theater, that your can't even think about it goal is to be a famous Hollywood actress or actor. If you sing, chances are maybe your highest can't even think about it dream is my song will be top 10 on the radio. Are you in academia? Well, yeah, tenured professorship at Stanford, not a bad deal. So these people have reached what everyone else is actually not just running to get to, not just wishing to get to, but actually tragically, and this is where we come back to the tragedy of this, forsaking their families, forsaking their spiritual practice, forsaking that which actually brings joy in our lives to get to. Can't spend time with the kids, gotta work, gotta get ahead. Can't do my meditation, can't go to the temple, can't go on the spiritual retreat because gotta get ahead. And then the people who have actually reached the pinnacle still have something between them and happiness. Making us realize, of course, that that height is not actually the bearer of happiness. No matter where we are along that entire spectrum, every person I have met in my life, no matter what they have, always has one thing, a fill in the blank. Would be happy if, or will be happy when. Everyone. One thing, at least, some have a list. But everyone's got at least one thing between them and happiness. Except those who have a deep spiritual practice. And I say this to you as a scientist, as someone who didn't come from a spiritual world, wasn't born and raised to believe that this was what was going to bring me happiness. But someone who, after being given this, still put on her scientist hat and has gone out and, is this really true? And so now we come back to the question of, a side of my body doesn't work. How can I be happy and confident? Well, the first piece is recognize that actually you're in the same boat with regard to happiness that everyone is. You may look around and say, oh my God, I wish I had all 4 limbs working. Then I would be happy. But chances are, if you're like everyone I've met in 23 years, it would then be something else that was keeping you an arm's length from happiness. And so take whatever you have, and this isn't to make light of it. Moving through the world with a side of the body paralyzed is something that I would not wish on anyone. It is something that I would pray people should be cured of. To have a functioning body is an incredible gift from the divine. And when we don't have that, regardless of what it is that the problem is, when we don't have that, it makes it very difficult to move through life. And it doesn't have to remove our happiness. And all you have to do to know that is find people who are quadriplegics, people who have lost all of their limbs, people who have lost everything physically. And they still have happiness. You know, I used to volunteer in California at the Special Olympics, which is I don't know if they have it in India, but it's the Olympics for people who are physically handicapped. And you have to be pretty severely physically handicapped to get in. I don't know exactly what the cutoff is, but everyone there had some very obvious, very severe physical handicap. And they literally had competitions for things like the neck raise. I mean, literally, kids who could do nothing but lift their own necks. Well, okay, so who can lift their neck from the ground faster than others or more than others? And they created these events based on whatever the kids could do. And it's going to make me cry just to talk about it, because it's the most beautiful, beautiful experience. Because not one of those kids, and there were thousands of them, not one of those kids felt sorry for themselves. In fact, it was so beautiful because what they did was they all got ribbons, and in a normal competition, typically only first, second, third place gets ribbons. So blue for first, and I think red for second, and something else for third. So you'd see kids running around with nothing but blue ribbons on their shirts. They had won first prize and everything. But at the Special Olympics, they gave ribbons to everyone. So you'd see kids with, turquoise and maroon and hot pink and, kind of whatever colors they could come up with for 15th place and 20th place and 11th place. And the kid with the blue ribbons, all the first place, was trading his ribbons with the kids who had the hot pink and the lavender and the maroon, because it was all about getting the most colors. And there was no sense at all of first place, second place, third place winner. And I mention this because it has stuck with me so deeply. I did it when I was in college. Time in my life in which I was stressed, I was frustrated, I was confused, I was going through so much trouble. I was feeling sorry for myself. And I'll tell you, spend a day with kids who can't walk, can't raise their arms, can't see, and who are so full of life and love and joy. I would sing you their national anthem, but I would just cry through it, so I'm not even going to bother doing it. But go online and just find it, because a stadium full of kids singing, full of such joy. And it makes us realize, God, what really we need to be happy. And so for the one who's asked this question, yeah, you've been given a tough situation. And you've been given an incredible opportunity. Because every minute of your life you remember. You remember this. And let that memory be something that brings you back to your spiritual practice. There's a beautiful story of a saint who had the power through her kiss to cure everything. Any ailment, whatever it was that people had, they would come to her and she could kiss it away. And so lots of lepers started coming. And she would kiss their wounds, heal them, but send them away with still one wound left. Like, she would always leave one wound. And the devotees asked her, Ma, why do you do that? When you have the power to cure them completely, why do you kiss away every wound but one? And she said, because that one wound is what keeps them calling out to God. At the end of the Mahabharat war, at the end of the war, when Krishna goes to Kunti and says to her, you've been such a model of virtue, of sanskaras, of divinity. Ask any boon from me. I've given you so much pain. Ask any boon from me. I want to give you something. What did Kunti ask for? More pain. She didn't say, oh my God, this has been such hell, for God's sakes, could you just, make sure the rest of my life is smooth. She didn't say, use your magic wand and undo it. Give me back the family we've lost. She didn't say, well, okay, send me to Hawaii for the rest of my life, build me a nice, palace there, buy me a Caribbean island. More pain. And she said, I want more pain because what I've noticed in my life is when things are going right, I forget you. In my moments of pain and sorrow are when I feel closest to you. When I call out to you. When I remember you. So, oh God, give me pain. And so take this difficulty as a way that God has blessed you to never forget. To never forget that your path is to call out to God. That every time you wish you could use the side of your body, you can't. To call out to God. This is why we fast. Ajkal, fasting has become just an opportunity to see कि चलो फलाहार से क्या बना सकते हैं. Right? This is what fasting is. चलो pakora khao, pizza khao, ab फलाहार, pizza crust. We get everything. Puris, pakoras, ये वो तो मेरे उपवास है. उपवास? Puris, pakoras, ये वो तो फलाहार है. But the reason we fast is not because grains are bad. It's not a, keep away the wheat day. Keep away the rice day. Upwas literally means, in Sanskrit, literally means sitting near to. Sitting near to whom? Near to God. And I mention this here because in order for that to happen, you have to be hungry. The reason that we fast is not just to give the other grains, the falard grains, an opportunity ki usse bhi pakora banti hai. That, they're feeling jealous. Ki why is everything made from besan all the time? Mere se kyun nahi banti hai? It's not that. It's so that we can feel hungry. In that hunger, we remember. In that lightness, we remember. Naturally, the stomach growls. And when the stomach growls, we remember, oh yeah, aaj mere upwas hai. Not ki chalo, let's boil up some potatoes and make some French fries and kyunki aaj upwas hai. That growling of the stomach is to remind us we're sitting near to God. Not near to McDonald's so we can get French fries all day. Near to God. And that hunger is a reminder. So whatever pain we've been given in our life, physical pain, emotional pain, whatever pain it may be, realize it's been given to us not as a punishment, but as a way to call out to God, as a way to remember God. And nothing should keep us from being happy, because that is our true state. And I don't mean always super excited about what the universe has given us. Pain comes, difficulties come. Being able to be happy doesn't mean that we say, oh, that's so great that my house burned down, thanks God. Why'd you wait so long? Doesn't mean that we say, oh, thank you so much for, rendering me penniless overnight with a stock market crash. That was so great. It's not that. Pain is there. Despair is there. Obviously, we lose people we love. People die. We get sick. Houses burn down. Stock markets crash. All sorts of things happen. And we experience the fullness of that experience with our despair, our loss, our grief. That's natural, fully natural. And at the same time, we are able to access a place within ourselves that is joy. And understand this, because when we speak about happiness and joy, it doesn't mean every moment that which the world has dealt me is something that I'm able to say, oh, that was great, thank you. Oh, that was great, I'd like some more. Oh, that feels really good. That car that just hit me and now I'm felt really good. No, of course not. But it means no matter where I am, no matter what the external situation may be, physical, emotional, financial, whatever it may be, family, it means I am still able to access a place within me that is joy. And that place that is joy within me actually coexists with my very natural right to grieve when loved ones die, to grieve in moments of loss, to feel sadness, which is also part of this human existence. We've been given a human birth. Live it. We haven't been given our humanity to just push it away. We've been given our human birth, that through it, through this ability to witness ourselves, to be conscious of ourselves, to fully embrace and expand into it, to actually ultimately attain that state of freedom. Whether we call it moksha, enlightenment, nirvana, salvation, heaven, whatever term we use, it's freedom. It's freedom from that deepest state of who I am being determined by the fluctuations outside. And so while we are aware of it, while we give ourselves the permission to feel it, we simultaneously recognize that it's not actually the core of who we are. That it's not actually the highest, deepest truth of who we are. And that in that space, there is joy. And there is peace. And there is light. And there is truth. And there is love. And there is oneness. Regardless of what my external situation may be at this intersection of time and space. we will conclude satsang here without any other questions, because this one, unless anyone has a burning question. If there's a burning question, we can take it. But this question brought so many different elements of life into it. So unless we have any burning questions by anyone who's not going to be with us tomorrow, we will conclude satsang here, and I will see you all tomorrow, and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening.